Yeah, their Murphy's Law is like, give me more food. I don't know. I don't know what the chickens talk about all the time. Yeah, I think they're just, you know, chilling out, waiting for food, going, it's chicken day, and whatever. But anyway, yeah, so the new cell phone. Why haven't you seen some BitChute videos with the cell phone? I'll tell you why. Because my first attempt, I made like a 2-hour video, and I uploaded it. There's only 2 camera settings on that cell phone. I didn't know that, because I didn't bother checking until I just went ahead and made the video. I didn't know where it was going to be set, and it was an excellent, phenomenal video. And the reason why I'll never get to see it is because BitChute only allows 2 gigs per upload. The video was 14.5. So yesterday, I tried a half an hour. So 2 gigs, right? I figured, okay, that might be close. Half an hour's 2 and like 1/4 gigs, just enough to be too big. So I was like, okay, so today, 3rd time's a charm, right? So hopefully I'll get some good videos out for you today. Yeah. What I might do is this kind of dry out. See, the reason why it's so wet right here is because this is right where we put the water, and the birds are kind of dumb, like I say. So what they do is they rush the water, but they end up a lot of times like knocking the thing around, so it makes it wet here all the time. That's why we keep all the waters in one area, and that way it doesn't get as wet. But it's good now that we can put them out during the day. That's the best, you know what I mean? Like we put them in at night because we'd wake up in the morning and they'd all be gone. Not because they'd escape, but something would probably eat them, right? Remember, they're kind of dumb, you know. They don't quite understand the concept of self-preservation yet, you know what I mean? That's the plight of chickens. Is their food, they're like rabbits. Everything, like a rabbit is the worst thing. If you get reincarnated as a rabbit, it sucks to be you, because everything eats rabbits. You know, pretty much, even rabbits eat other rabbits, I think. One time I was on my trap line and I saw this bunny. It was like a little white bunny. It's like, hey, what's he got in his mouth? He had like a rabbit leg in his mouth, like it was from one of my trap lines. It's like he's eating his own. I've caught rabbits on you know, in bait pails where it's like what do you call it, like meat in there, you know what I mean, like beaver carcass or whatever. They'll go in after that. Yeah, you'd be surprised what you'd catch in there. Like, oh, but the rabbits, they just eat whatever. No, don't. Okay, your odds of getting killed by a rabbit is low, but it's not 0. If they were hungry enough, he'd come up, give you one of those leaping kicks right in the nuts, knock you over, bang you in the head with a rock, and haul you back to the cave and eat you. That's what a rabbit would do. That's why you can't trust rabbits. The only thing more shifty than a rabbit, chickens. Pack of chickens. You just can't just trust the chickens. They're just not trustworthy. You know, but these chickens are not as violent as the other ones. But I think the feeder strategy, as you see, we got troughs. When you walk into the store to buy your chicken stuff, okay, and you're getting meat birds, and you see those nice round chicken feeders, just walk right past them. Those are fine for maybe laying hens at best, but for meat birds go psycho when it's feeding time. If they think they're being fed, they will kill each other to get to the food. Like they're really stupid, right? So they'll hurt each other, jumping on each other, pecking each other and all that. Where like last year, that was the most violent birds I ever had, but we had more round feeders. This year, you go like this, you just run, even a little troughs like this, just fill one, fill the other. They spread themselves out so they're not fighting as much. They still fight, but just not as much. Ugh. This place is kind of difficult to clean too. It's hard to get down to the good stuff, you know what I mean? It's so rough in here, eh? But every now and then you get a good cake coming off, and like that. That's not too bad. it's not as bad on this side of the coop because, again, I guess because they spend so much time around the water that they get most of the heavy stuff is over there. This stuff's a little bit lighter. It's mostly chips, so I'll just throw this out of the... we still use chips. We don't use straw. I don't know. I think straw is a little bit easier to deal with myself, but the wood chips seem to work fine too. I don't know what's cheaper. I really don't. I didn't price it out. I don't have all the costs for you, so if you're wondering what it costs per pound and all that, we won't know that till the end of the season. But last year, out of 35 birds, I think we lost 4 or 5. The average bird was just ridiculously big at 9.5 weeks. Is what Dad had written down. We were talking about it this morning. It was something like the average bird was like 10.5 pounds or something like that. The biggest chicken, I don't know what the smallest one was, but the biggest chicken was 8.8 pounds. The biggest rooster was 12.5. And the average was between 9 and 10 pounds, closer, more majority to the 10 pound on the roosters. And we had 17 roosters out of the batch. Gee, I wonder why they were so violent. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, kicking each other in the head. These guys aren't as head kicky as the last ones. But maybe it's because of the strategy with the feeders are not pecking at each other as much. Or maybe we just don't have as many roosters. I don't know. Because they don't divide them out when you go get them. They just grab handfuls. Here's your birds. You know, good luck. Yeah. Personally, for the same cost, we got it down. I don't know what it was, like $1.80 or something a pound in the store at the time. On special, about $1.45. We averaged about $1.76, $1.78 a pound for us. So we were probably, if you held out, you'd get better deals on the chicken in the store. But the average was about on par. But mind you, that includes us killing them themselves. The lady at the M&R feed, her and one of my cousins, they kill birds together at they do $6 a bird. Now, mind you, they've got one of those tumbler pluckers where you can throw 2 chickens in at a time. And they'll do like 120 birds in a day. So, with like a crew of 10 or something like that. So I still don't know how profitable that would be. To me, it sounds a little bit low, but maybe, you know, like, okay, for me to do a bird myself, like, you know, like we were doing 15 birds a day with our setup, right? It'd take me about between 2 and 4 minutes to pluck each bird. It would take me about, well, a minute or 2 to kill them, but to boil them to get them ready to pluck, that was about 10 minutes a bird or something like that, or whatever it was. And then to gut them, there was another about 15, 20 minutes per bird. My dad was doing the gutting, and my brother was doing the pin feathers, which took the longest. So, like the big bird factories, they must have like machines that could do a bird in like, you know, 2 or 3, like complete in like 2 or 3 minutes. So I'd like to see how those other people are set up, because like on YouTube, you see people like me, you know what I mean? Which, okay, you'll learn a lot, but there's people that are doing it much faster. Yeah, they would have to make any at $6 a bird. Now that's just killed and cleaned up. That's not packaged and all that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the chickens out there. I'll put the water out in the pen. But I'm going to leave them out there for a little bit. Let it kind of air out in here a bit without those little stinkers in here. And I'll go from there. So that's an interesting bird talk. Again, with a bunch of untrustworthy chickens who escaped on me, then had the audacity to follow me back into the pen because they wanted me to feed them on top of it. So you escaped from me just to have me feed you? Okay, you know, again, the easiest chickens in the world to catch is this batch. Every other chicken would, I'm like, free bird. They'd be like running. I'm running to the hills as a chicken. They'd be doing that, right? But these chickens don't. There was one, he was waiting out at the door for me. And I'm like, say, I told my dad, yeah, I'm going to go and, usually my dad deals with the chickens in the morning and I deal with them at night. So yeah, I'm going to go deal with chickens. And I was like, Dad, you know there's a chicken outside, eh? So I thought, oh no, something got in. My fear was something got in there, you know, busted a hole in the fence and then killed a bunch of chickens. But no, it was just one stupid one out. I had no clue how he got out. It took about 3 days to figure out where they were getting out. And Dad figured it out, so yeah. And then it was the other day, I come here, I went, hey chickens, and they all come rushing towards the pen here, because the coop here, because they thought they were going to get feed, and 2 of them were on the outside. I'm like, they were not outside when I yelled, hey chickens. And then bang, there they were. I'm like, where did they come from? You know, it's like, how did these little bugger heads get out? I was like, oh, you guys are so shifty and crafty and whatever. Maybe I will open this up for them, because they, I'll just put these down for now. Put the water down for them, just because maybe they might want to sit in here. I don't know if it's cooler out in the shade over there or cooler in here, but I'll put this here and I'll put all the chips down. I'm just going to let it air out for a bit though, because that's a good idea. Oh, there's all chicken poop on there. Yeah, these are really easy to make. So make a bunch of these. These will save your chickens.